It started on a cold Tuesday evening. A man in a black leather vest stepped off his bike and noticed a father carrying heavy grocery bags down a cracked sidewalk. No one knew why the biker followed him. No one imagined what he'd do when they reached the house. Before we begin, tell us where in the world are you watching this from? Drop your city or country in the comments below. Your every comment, gift, and membership helps us bring more heart-touching stories to your life. The rumble of his Harley echoed down the narrow street, making heads turn. Some mothers pulled their kids closer. That's the thing about patches on leather. People think they know your story before you even speak. His name was Cole Mathers, 48, Hell's Angel, the kind of man whose face told 1,000 hard miles. Long blonde hair tied back, beard flecked with gray, tattoos inked deep from a life most people wouldn't dare to ask about. Cole didn't care much for suburbs. They always felt too quiet, like the kind of quiet that judges you. But that night, waiting at a red light, he saw him. A man in worn sneakers, hoodie pulled tight, carrying 2 paper grocery bags like his arms were about to give out. One bag was ripped on the bottom. An apple rolled out, bouncing across the pavement. The man didn't chase it, just kept walking, head low, like chasing an apple wasn't worth the breath. Cole turned his handlebars. For reasons he didn't yet understand, he followed. Ethan Cole, 36, wasn't used to anyone noticing him. His life was measured in shifts worked and bills paid late. He'd been a widower for 2 years now, raising his 8-year-old daughter, Lily, in a small, peeling duplex. The groceries in his arms weren't much, just bread, milk, some soup cans, and the cheapest pack of chicken on sale. His daughter had been sick all week, coughing in her sleep. The doctor's bill still sat unpaid on the kitchen counter. He didn't see the Harley behind him. He was too busy counting steps, calculating in his head if the heat bill could wait one more week. When he reached his block, he stopped outside the duplex. The porch light flickered weakly, the kind of light bulb that had been promising to die for months. He shifted the bags and unlocked the door. Inside, Lily's small voice called, "Daddy." He forced a smile she couldn't see. "Yeah, baby. Got us dinner." Behind him, the motorcycle engine cut. Ethan was halfway to setting the groceries on the counter when he heard it. 3 slow, heavy knocks. He froze. People didn't knock on his door at night. He glanced through the front window and saw leather, patches, and the glare of chrome under the streetlight. The man stood still, one hand resting on the handlebar of his bike, the other hanging loose by his side. Ethan's first thought was trouble. Men like that didn't show up to hand out welcome baskets. His second thought was Lily, and how quickly he could get her to the back bedroom if he had to. The biker knocked again, this time softer. Ethan opened the door halfway, keeping his body between the stranger and the inside. "Can I help you?" The man's eyes weren't cold, but they weren't warm either. They were the eyes of someone searching. "You dropped this?" the biker said, holding out the apple that had rolled into the street. Ethan hesitated. It was just an apple. But the man didn't leave. Cole's voice was low, steady, the kind of tone that made you listen whether you wanted to or not. "You walking far with those bags?" Ethan gripped the door tighter. "Not far enough to matter." Cole didn't move. "You got kids?" Ethan's jaw tightened. "Why?" Behind Ethan, Lily peeked from the hallway. Her hair was messy from sleep, cheeks flushed from fever. She coughed once, then quickly disappeared behind the wall. Cole's eyes followed the sound. "She's sick." That was the moment Ethan's patience cracked. "Look, man, I don't know what you want, but we're fine. You can go." Cole finally nodded, like he'd found the answer to a question only he knew he was asking. He turned, walked back to his bike, and rode off without another word. Ethan shut the door, locking it twice. He didn't notice the way Cole looked back in his mirrors. Ethan spent the night replaying it. The knock, the questions. He told himself it was nothing, just a biker being nosy. But something in the man's eyes had unsettled him. Around midnight, Lily's coughing woke him again. He sat by her bed, brushing her damp hair from her forehead. "You're gonna be okay, Bug," he whispered, though he wasn't sure how. The truth was, he didn't have the money for the prescription the doctor had recommended. And tomorrow was rent day. He'd already decided which bill wouldn't get paid, but that still wouldn't be enough. Across town, Cole lay awake in a small apartment above a garage. On the dresser sat a photo of a little girl with pigtails, his daughter, long gone from his life. Maybe that was why the man with the groceries stuck in his head. Maybe it was the way the kid coughed. Or maybe Cole was just tired of watching and doing nothing. By morning, he'd made up his mind. The next evening, Ethan heard it again. The low, distant growl of a Harley engine. He looked out the window and felt his stomach knot. The same biker, same leather vest. Cole parked at the curb, but didn't come to the door right away. He pulled something from his saddlebag, a brown paper bag, and walked up the path. Ethan opened the door just before the knock. "You lost again?" Cole held out the bag. "Soup. Real stuff. Not the kind in a can. My neighbor makes it." Ethan didn't reach for it. "We don't need charity." Cole's eyes narrowed, but not in anger, more like he was measuring the truth. "Soup ain't charity. It's soup. You can take it, or I can leave it here to get cold." Before Ethan could answer, Lily's voice floated from the hallway. "Daddy, I smell food." Ethan glanced at her, pale, tired, but curious, and something in his shoulders dropped. He took the bag. "Thanks." Cole nodded once, turned, and walked away. He didn't look back. The soup was hot, thick with vegetables and tender pieces of chicken. Lily ate almost the whole bowl, smiling between bites for the first time in days. Ethan didn't tell her where it came from. He didn't know if he wanted her to. The next day, there was a small package on the porch: children's cough medicine, honey, and a pack of her favorite animal crackers. No note, no knock. It happened again the day after. Bread, eggs, fresh fruit. Always quiet, always gone before Ethan could look outside. Part of him wanted to be angry, to prove he could handle things on his own. But another part, the tired, worn-down part, was quietly grateful. Lily asked one night, "Is it the soup man?" Ethan smiled faintly. "Yeah, Bug. I think it is." Across the street, parked in the shadows, Cole sat on his bike watching the light in the duplex window. Not close enough to intrude, just close enough to know they were okay. By the end of the week, Ethan couldn't take it anymore. When he heard the bike, he stepped outside before Cole could even park. "Why are you doing this?" Ethan demanded. Cole shut off the engine. "Because I can." "That's not an answer." Cole swung a leg over the bike, walking up slow. His boots crunched against the gravel. "You think I'm here to get something from you? I'm not. I just see a man carrying more than he should." Ethan's hands curled into fists. "You don't know me. You don't know my life." Cole's voice softened. "You're right, but I know what it's like to have a kid who needs you to keep standing when you're ready to fall." Something flickered in Ethan's expression, confusion, maybe recognition, but he shook it off. "I don't want pity." Cole stepped closer. "It's not pity. It's respect." For a moment, they just stood there, two men from different worlds, neither willing to look away first. Later that night, Cole sat in his apartment, staring at the photo again. Her name was Emily. She'd been 6 the last time he saw her. A custody battle he'd lost, bad decisions he couldn't undo, a life on the road that didn't mix with bedtime stories and morning pancakes. He'd missed too many chances. Too many nights. By the time he tried to get clean and straighten out, she was gone, moved out of state with her mother. The guilt never left. And maybe that's why the sight of Lily behind that tired man had stopped him cold. Because once, a long time ago, he'd been on the other side of that door, hoping someone would help him carry the weight. Cole wasn't trying to buy forgiveness. He knew that wasn't how it worked. But maybe, just maybe, he could stop another man from feeling like he had to do it all alone. 2 weeks later, Ethan's hours got cut at work. He didn't tell Lily. He didn't tell anyone. He just tried to stretch what he had, more soup, more skipping meals himself. One night, the fever came back worse. Lily was breathing shallow, coughing hard. Ethan knew he had to take her in, even if it meant the rent wouldn't get paid. He wrapped her in a blanket, locking the door behind him. But when he stepped outside, Cole was there, like he'd been waiting. Ethan didn't even have to speak. Cole saw the panic, the way Ethan held her close. "Get on," Cole said, starting the bike. Ethan hesitated. "I can't." "You can," Cole said, voice leaving no room for argument. They rode through the night air, Lily's head resting against Ethan's chest. The hospital lights glowed ahead. Cole stayed in the waiting room, hands clasped, eyes fixed on the floor. An hour later, Ethan came out, relief in his face. "Pneumonia. They're keeping her overnight." Cole nodded. "Good. She's in the right place." Ethan's voice caught. "I didn't have the money. I don't know how." Cole slid an envelope from his jacket and pressed it into Ethan's hand. "Don't argue. Just take it." Inside were $100 bills. Enough to cover the bill, and then some. Ethan's throat tightened. "Why? Why me?" Cole looked him straight in the eye. "Because once, I was you, and no one showed up." For a moment, neither spoke. Then Ethan, for the first time, put out his hand. Cole took it. Lily came home 3 days later, smiling weakly but better. Cole stopped by with flowers, not the store kind, but wildflowers he'd picked himself. She lit up when she saw him. "Daddy, the soup man." Cole laughed, a sound that surprised even him. "Guess that's me." From then on, Cole became a fixture, fixing the porch light, patching the loose step, bringing groceries when he could. But it wasn't about the things anymore. It was about presence. One Saturday, Ethan found him in the yard teaching Lily how to balance on his bike seat, engine off, just letting her feel the weight. She giggled the whole time. And Ethan realized something. The man he'd once thought was trouble had quietly become family. Months passed. One morning, Ethan found a letter tucked under the doormat. No name, no return address. Just words. "When I couldn't be there for my own, I promised myself I'd be there for someone else's. You and Lily, you gave me a second chance I didn't deserve. Thank you for letting me in." Ethan read it twice before realizing the Harley wasn't parked out front anymore. Cole was gone. A year later, on Lily's 9th birthday, the sound of a Harley rolled down the street. Ethan stepped onto the porch, and there he was, older, maybe a little more tired, but smiling. Lily ran straight into his arms. "Soup man." Cole knelt down, hugging her tight. "Happy birthday, kid." Ethan handed him a slice of cake. "You disappeared." Cole shrugged. "Had to take care of some things. But I don't stay gone from family." That evening, after the cake and laughter, Cole handed Ethan a set of keys. "To the house down the street. It's yours. Paid for." Ethan stared at him. "You can't." "I can," Cole said simply. "You carried too much for too long. Let me carry this one." For the first time, Ethan didn't argue. He just pulled the man into a hug, the kind that said more than words ever could. Lily looked between them and smiled. "Daddy, we have a soup man forever." Cole smiled back, his voice quiet. "Yeah, bug. Forever." Sometimes the people we fear most are the ones who show up when no one else will. If this story touched your heart, subscribe for more. Like, share, and press the bell icon. You never know whose story might remind you that no one should walk alone.